Now, as you can see, the river's flowing and dropping into this culvert here. It's going to go under what was the UMIST campus, and we'll pick it up again on Princess Street. So this is the last we see of the Medlock for a little while. And here's the Medlock emerging from its dark and dismal twin culvert here, just on Princess Street.
Is that a microwave? Is that a microwave under water?
Let's just have a look.
See what I'm looking at, right? That sort of shape down there, it looks like a microwave.
Yeah, I think that is probably a microwave. Oh dear.
That's
So, bit of a tipping point, the Medlock at this point, unfortunately. Right, we'll cross over where you can see it's got a matching bridge on the other side of the road. And we'll be able to follow alongside it for a bit, I think. And you can see here that there's an older bridge underneath the iron one. It looks like Princess Street has been raised a bit over the years. And here you can see another graceful curve of the Medlock, which starts sweeping to the north again here.
I imagine it probably would be quite good if people didn't use it as a landfill.
And the people along in these flats have a succession of little balconies overlooking the river, which is quite nice, were the river to be a bit nicer to look at. Still, I guess it is improvable if they get a bit of money behind it. And another walkway further on. And here's another bridge taking the Medlock under Charles Street, and we come out of this little park bit opposite a well-known Lancashire drinking spot, Manchester drinking spot, the Lasser Gallery.
You probably upset some people by saying that.
Okay. And here we have another curve of the river, and you can see some of these buildings that back on to the river are a bit older than the university campus buildings we've just been passing. And just past the Lasser Gallery you have another graceful curve of the river as it swings round to form the northern edge of this car park and dictates its shape, but there's no exit at the other end, so we'll have to move on to Oxford Road. Right, this is the bridge of the Medlock on Oxford Road. That's looking back towards the car park. Not sure who that bridge serves, I don't think it's the car park, but anyway, that's quite pleasant. And you can see that the Medlock flows down an inaccessible alley between the buildings there, so we'll have to head down Hume Street by the side of the spa to pick it up again. Yeah, you get a slight little peep of the Medlock down a little opening at the side of Hume Street, but then it starts going onto this car park. Yes, a pretty inaccessible stretch of the Medlock here, just off Whitworth Street. You can get a bit closer if you live in one of these apartments, but they're shut off to the general public. And then it goes under this bridge under Cambridge Street, and we'll just take a second. Yeah. Here we go. Looks like there was once the remains of something else over the river here with these steel girders. I'm not quite sure what was here before, whether it was a railway line spur that went off here. I'm not sure. Martin Zero, where are you when we need you? Now then, here's one of the rare surviving examples of industrial Manchester. Well, just about. This is Hotspur House, home of the Hotspur Press. It's derelict now, but I know it was still going in the early 2000s because a friend of mine worked here, and he told me they were still producing that little war comic, you know, the Hotspur, which was full of Second World War stories, which seemed very incongruous at that point. But it's nice to see it still here, and the river does a curve all the way around it. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. Okay, well now you can see that the river takes an almost right-angled bend round the building. That's possibly not entirely natural, that maybe they shifted the river's course to suit the industrial operations. Unfortunately, to the left here is closed off because it's a building site, otherwise we might have been able to walk alongside the Medlock for a bit there. But for now, we've got to retrace our steps back to Whitworth Street. Okay, here we are again at a bridge over the Medlock, off, appropriately enough, Medlock Street. You could see the Manchester Exhibition Centre in the background, and also the railway linking Deansgate with Oxford Road. And the good thing about the next bit is I think we can walk alongside it for a while. Well, not for too long a while, because to be frank, there isn't that much of it left, but it's nice to reacquaint ourselves with it here. Yeah, as you can see, there's another squiggly bend coming up.
So many of them here.
Yeah. As you can see, the Medlock is making another big turn here, and then up there it's got a junction with the Bridgewater Canal where something funny happens. I'm not entirely sure I understand it, but that's coming up in a short while. Yeah, here we go. This is good for showing you how much silt there is in the river, and in the 18th century the River Medlock through Manchester was actually navigable, so it was where all the goods traffic used to come up from the Irwell into the centre of Manchester, and there used to be a little tunnel. In fact, you can still see the arch somewhere. I'm not quite sure. No, it's not that one. It's a tiny thing in the wall on the opposite side. Yeah, go to Martin Zero's video. He'll show you all that. And that was like a little culvert that went further into the city centre, but it wasn't used for long before the Bridgewater Canal superseded it, so it was all filled in. Yes, now here we have where the Medlock really does get tortured by the canal. In the old days, when the Bridgewater Canal was first created, the Duke thought it was a good idea to have the river top up the canal, but it soon became clear that it was so polluted it was messing up the canal, so he then had to work out a way to get the river underneath the canal. And here's where it happened. You can still see the old wheel mechanism for making that happen, and I think they do occasionally have to come back here and mess about with that when the river gets flooded, otherwise it might flood into the canal again. So yeah, this is, you can see the little hut is still there where the lockkeeper, I suppose it is a sort of lock, used to reside and look on after the weir works. And yeah, we'll pick up the Medlock on the other side of the canal. Oh, and it's during its underground journey that the River Tib flows into it. Now, the River Tib has been underground for 200 years, which is why we can't make a separate video about it. Well, I suppose we could, but Martin Zero's already done that, and we'd just be repeating what he said. So the River Medlock's only tributary joins it, well, the only tributary that is an actual river joins it underground. The River Tib does occasionally surface when they dig up the road, when, you know, when they dig a hole to mend the gas or something on Tib Street. You can actually see the river flowing through it, but not on any other occasion. And it was only a very little trickle, even when it was open to the sky. Hello, and what you can see here on the far side of the Castlefield Basin, after you've crossed all the canals, the River Medlock trickles out from under this old bridge near Potato Wharf for its last few hundred yards of its life. So we will follow it, see if we can get a good shot of the junction. And here you've got a last little ornate bridge over the Medlock. There it is, flowing onwards towards the well. You do have this nice little walkway above the river, even if you're mostly looking at brick walls.
Doesn't really feel the same as being in the centre now, does it?
No. And we're about to hit the A57 here, so the river goes under its last major road. And you can see the bridge on the far side. Well, this is a view of the very last stretch of the Medlock, heading down towards Hume Locks. I'm not sure that there is a way alongside it. There certainly isn't on the left-hand bank. There might be one on the right, so we'll go and have a look for you. Now, what we're seeing here is the last of the rivers that the Irwell swallows up. That is the River Medlock coming in through a couple of lock gates, because it was really messed around at the end of its course by the canal companies of the Rochdale and Bridgewater canal companies.